Nobody expected the fifth match of the 2026 FIFA World Cup to become a story about resilience, patience, and missed opportunities. When Qatar and Switzerland stepped onto the field, both teams knew exactly what was at stake. After Canada and Bosnia and Herzegovina had already shared the points in Group B, this was a golden opportunity. A victory would place one team at the top of the group. A defeat would immediately create pressure. And for 90 intense minutes, both nations fought desperately to avoid that scenario. In the end, neither side managed to take complete control. The scoreboard showed Qatar won, Switzerland won, but the match itself told a far more dramatic story. From the opening whistle, Switzerland looked like the more comfortable team. Their passing was sharp. Their positioning was organized. Their experience at major tournaments was evident. The Swiss midfield moved the ball confidently, trying to dictate the tempo and force Qatar into a defensive shape. Qatar, however, were not interested in sitting back. The Asian champions entered the match determined to prove that their rapid rise in international football was no coincidence. Every challenge was contested. Every loose ball mattered. Every attack carried significance. The opening 20 minutes developed into a tactical battle. Switzerland controlled more possession. Qatar looked dangerous in transition. Whenever the Swiss pushed forward, Qatar searched for space behind the defense. The contrast in styles made the match fascinating. One team wanted control. The other wanted opportunities. Then came the breakthrough. After sustained pressure, Switzerland finally found the opening they had been searching for. A well-worked attacking move pulled the Qatari defense out of position. The ball was delivered into a dangerous area, and the finish was clinical. Suddenly, Switzerland had the advantage. The celebrations reflected the importance of the moment. In a group where every point matters, scoring first can completely change the dynamics of a World Cup match. Now Qatar faced a difficult challenge. Not only were they trailing against one of the most organized teams in international football. Many expected Switzerland to take control from there. Instead, Qatar responded, and that response revealed the hidden story of the match. This team refused to panic. Instead of forcing attacks, they remained patient. Instead of abandoning their structure, they trusted it. Gradually, confidence returned. The passing improved. The movement increased. The pressure began to build. As halftime approached, Qatar looked increasingly dangerous. The Swiss defense was being asked more questions. The spaces were beginning to appear, and the momentum was starting to shift. The second half continued that trend. Qatar emerged with greater intensity. The energy level increased. The attacks became more direct. The supporters sensed that an equalizer was possible, and eventually it arrived. A quick attacking sequence caught Switzerland off balance. The defense reacted too slowly. Qatar capitalized. The finish found the back of the net. The stadium erupted. The match was level once again. Everything had changed. The goal transformed the atmosphere. Suddenly, belief surged through the Qatari players. The confidence was visible. The energy was unmistakable. For Switzerland, the challenge now became psychological. Would they respond? Or would they allow momentum to continue moving in Qatar's direction? What followed was perhaps the most entertaining phase of the entire contest. Both teams pushed for a winner. Both teams created opportunities. Both teams believed 3 points were within reach. The midfield battle became increasingly intense. Every challenge carried importance. Every attack felt capable of changing the outcome. Switzerland continued searching for moments of quality. Their technical ability remained evident. Their movement around the final third created dangerous situations. Yet Qatar refused to break. The defensive organization remained strong. The commitment was exceptional. Every player understood what was required. At the other end, Qatar continued to threaten on the counterattack. Whenever Switzerland committed players forward, opportunities appeared. The Swiss defenders were repeatedly forced into recovery runs. The tension grew with every passing minute. As the match entered its final stages, Both teams knew that a single mistake could decide everything. The game became increasingly open. Opportunities appeared at both ends. Goalkeepers were called into action. Defenders made crucial interventions. Midfielders covered enormous distances. Yet despite the drama, neither side could find the decisive breakthrough. The final whistle eventually arrived. The score remained unchanged. Qatar won. Switzerland won. So what actually decided this match? The answer lies in balance. Switzerland demonstrated why they are consistently difficult opponents at major tournaments. Their organization, their composure, their tactical discipline, all were on display throughout the match. Qatar, meanwhile, demonstrated something equally important: character, resilience, belief. After falling behind, they refused to accept defeat. They adapted, they responded, and they earned a valuable point. For Switzerland, there may be disappointment. Opportunities existed to secure all 3 points. There were moments when they appeared capable of taking complete control, yet they could not maintain their advantage. For Qatar, the feeling will be different. This point could prove crucial. In a World Cup group where every result matters, avoiding defeat keeps qualification hopes very much alive. The bigger picture now makes Group B one of the most intriguing groups in the tournament. Canada and Bosnia shared the points. Qatar and Switzerland shared the points. No team has managed to establish an early advantage. No team has fallen significantly behind. Everything remains open. Everything remains possible. And that is exactly what makes the FIFA World Cup special. One match can change everything. One moment can define a tournament. For Qatar and Switzerland, the journey continues. And after this hard-fought draw, Group B remains completely alive.